Hadad's lake lies dormant today. A group of kids from the YMCA splash in the pool and jump on the rope swing. Lite 98 echoes across the vast man-made lake, and gray clouds loom overhead. But as gray as those clouds might be, it's nothing compared to the storm that is about to descend upon the privately owned water park 20 minutes south of RVA. The oncoming storm has a name: Best Friends Day. A celebration of friendship, music, and art, Best Friends Day 9 is a weekend-long series of concerts and parties that leaves a mark on our quiet southern town. Organizers Ward Teft, Tony Forista, and Curtis Grimstead sat in the WRER studios and discussed the history of Best Friends Day.
It started with Shelley Briggs and Anna Virginia, and a few of their friends were... they came up with the idea, and it was a one-day event at Hadad's. 40 people came to it, and it was a great time. They were shocked that 40 people came, but they had such a good time they decided to do it the next year, and it kind of grew from there.
And the next year, and the year after that, and with last year's attendance at about 2,500 people, the growing gathering is expected to top out around 3,000 this year. Planning the event is nearly a full-time job. The three organizers took time out of their schedules to speak with us and explained the nearly year-long planning process.
We started talking about this back in October.
We take a few months off and then get to work on it. Like after we have our Best Friends Day hangover time, which is September, where we don't talk about it at all. We won't even we refuse to mention Best Friends
Future.
Day.
We'll talk about past ones, but we won't talk about future.
Yeah. And then usually around October we start all right.
This year's festivities include 4 days of music and events beyond the party at Hadad's. Thursday was the party at the bike lot with several smaller punk bands, but Friday is the night with big-name national acts, including Propagandhi, Municipal Waste, and Andrew WK. WRAR's Caroline Jackson spoke with Andrew WK. Unlike the shows WK was playing in Warped Tour this past summer, he will play solo tonight at the Canal Club. He said his solo shows give him a chance to get the crowd involved.
Means that it really is a moment to celebrate with the crowd, almost as performers themselves. So I really look forward to that. I think Tony really understands what he's doing, and I'm very, very, very pleased to be asked. I feel very privileged to get to participate this year because it's a great lineup, and it's become a tradition that people really look forward to, and I'm excited to see what it's all about.
In the spirit of Best Friends Day, WK's positive energy fits with an event to celebrate camaraderie. He said he's looking forward to promoting those friendly feelings through his performance and for upcoming weekends and beyond.
That's my favorite part about it of all, is that why make Best Friends Day only be one day when it can be 4 days, or with the excitement that we have at Best Friends Day, any of these 4 days, why not take that and keep it going for 361 more days? I mean, all year round should be Best Friends Day, at least that attitude.
Best Friends Day is an event that brings normal folks, not just national performers, from all around the world. Japan, Australia, Amsterdam, many nationalities are represented. Forista said the reason for the international audience is based in the event's name.
I think it's just a thing, I guess it's friend-related, so people tell their friend, and they're like, yo, you got to come with me. I think that's why it grows so much every year, too, because people come, they have a good time, and they want their friend to experience it.
He also feels Richmond is the only city that could hold such an event.
I know for a fact that people have even tried to do something similar to this, and weren't able to pull it off. So I think it is. I mean, I'm sure you could do it in other places, but there's just something about the energy of it that only Richmond can do.
Meanwhile, back at Hadad's, Wesley Heifer, general manager for the park, said they look forward to Best Friends Day.
Every year. It's great. It's all we talk about all year.
Heifer said the event is relatively incident-free, and they managed to keep a handle on the 2,500-plus folks in attendance.
I mean, there's always a couple incidents, none that we can't handle. And, there's hardly ever. The only time the cops did get called last year, but that was because of there were so many people coming in at one time, the traffic was building up. People couldn't get out of their parking lot.
Forista said the early inceptions of Best Friends Day were similar to other Richmond events, but time and hard work have changed the gathering into something more.
I think when it first started, people thought it was like some of the other events around here where people just come and get wasted and trash the town. And I think over the years, people are starting to realize what it is we're trying to do, and we're just trying to bring people to Richmond and experience Richmond, have a good time, and as well as for people who live in Richmond, just have a weekend to end the summer off.
With a countless number of musical acts and events, the chance to reunite with distant friends, and the warm sun basking over a ruckus crowd, Best Friends Day 9 is worth integrating into your weekend plans. To find out more about Best Friends Day, and to hear this story again, and to read past stories, and to see an HD video of this preview, visit our blog, www.wirnews.blogspot.com. For Richmond Independent Radio News, I'm Brad Kutner with Caroline Jackson.